Hello! Today we're painting a Sister of Battle from the Order of the Bloody Rose. So as you can see, I've actually painted the back quickly, just with a base coat, because it'll be hard to get to later. And the base coat's Blood Angels Red on pretty much all of the armour. So as usual with contrast paint, you've just got to keep it moving and work it into the crevices, the gaps. And we can go over the rose. With this we'll just spend a bit of time highlighting it later. We want to get all of the torso, nice even coat, and same with her backpack. Flight pack, whatever you want to call it. Nice even coat all over. And then we do all of the cloth areas in black. Use whatever black you want. I'm using black Templar contrast paint. I find that over a zenithal that gives a really nice finish. And then we'll do all the weapons in Basilicanum Grey, and that's just our starting point. We'll do a lot more later, and we do her hair as well with Basilicanum Grey. And her gloves. My choice is to use Rhinox hide for all of the gloves on my Sisters of Battle, but you could probably do black if you wanted to. I just like the brown because it gives a bit of differentiation between all the other cloth. And then all the metal areas with a nice smooth coat of Leadbelcher. And if you need to use two coats, do that. You don't want to obscure any of that detail. And we do the wings on her insignia in silver as well. You can go over the eye in the middle if you want with silver as well, but I actually do that in gold. And now we do Nuln Oil over the whole thing. Talent in a bowl. But it really helps with this red and what we're going to do afterwards. And it brings out all the detail in the metal areas, really makes them pop. So you can see there that's dried now and it's looking really good. And then we'll start to do the gold areas. So I do the eye on her left hand shoulder pad and any other little details, fleur-de-lises I think they're called. You do those as well in gold. In the official colour scheme I think they do those in silver, but I prefer to do them in gold. And I just do the little Inquisition symbol in gold as well. And the fleur-de-lis on her sort of upper neck area really makes it stand out, looks really good. And we do the details in the sword. I think I miss a bit here, but go back later and tidy it up. But the pommel, the skull, get those done in gold as well. And now we move on to relayering it with Mephiston Red, although confession time, I'd run out of Mephiston Red and I was actually using Vampire Red by Army Painter, but the rest of my army is normally done in Mephiston Red. But this actually turned out looking really good, so I was quite happy with it. And we're just going over all those raised red areas that have been dulled down a bit too much by the Nuln Oil, and we're just bringing them back out with this vivid bright red. Looks really good when it's done. I actually found with her main armour that the Army Painter Red looked really good, but on the backpack, on the large flat areas, it didn't really pop as much as Mephiston Red would, but it was still okay. And don't forget to do round her neck and the little bits on the shoulder pads. Now we go in with a bit of Xandri dust, and we're going to do any bits of parchment. And we're just going to be really careful and get a nice cover of Xandri dust on these areas. At this stage we don't want to make mistakes and have to go back and tidy up all of that. And now I used Peachy Flesh from Army Painter Speed Paint for her face, and as you'll see at the end, it just didn't look very good. And some Hoeth Blue on the sword just to make the little power cable crystal bit stand out a little bit on both sides. Now we're going to go in with Evil Sun Scarlet and do quite a thick edge highlight all around the model. Every sort of raised area and bit that we want to stand out. When you initially put the paint on, it can look a little bit too bright, but once it dries, it blends in really nicely with the other coats that we put on. As I mentioned, I was really unhappy with her face, and I'll go back and do that off camera later. But the armour looks fantastic done with this colour scheme. And there's a little fleur-de-lis on her knee that I missed as well, which I'll go back and tidy up. But it's all about making the edges pop with the Evil Sun Scarlet. Doing all the edges of the backpack just to make them really stand out as well. It's a bit like edge highlighting a Space Marine. Takes time, but totally worth it. And you can see it's starting to come together really nicely for literally probably 20 minutes of effort. There you go. The face is awful, and I will go back and completely redo the face. But the rest of the model's looking really good. We just go over the gold with a bit of Reikland Fleshshade, just to make that stand out a little bit, and also over the parchment. And if you wanted to, you could go back and highlight the gold with some silver, but I didn't bother. And there you go, 20 minutes. Beautiful. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, bye bye.